Today we're going to finish up talking about the American Revolution. What happened at the end and what were the effects of the war on the American colonists and on Britain? To start with, we're going to talk about the battles in North Carolina, which means the colonists were fighting the British soldiers and there was a war going on, even right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. At first, a lot of the fighting was in the northern states, but eventually General Charles Cornwallis decided to attack the southern colonies as well, including North Carolina. That happened in 1778. Here's a timeline of the battles that were fought in North Carolina. 1780, the Battle of Kings Mountain took place. Charlotte was attacked, and Britain thought it would be a really easy victory, but the Patriots fought strong and they won. In 1781, the Battle of Guilford Courthouse took place. Cornwallis came back for revenge with a big army, and the British defeated the Patriots. However, the British army was now very weak because many of their soldiers died. Then, in 1781, the British army became trapped by the Patriots, and they had to surrender to the American General George Washington, who was on the colonist Patriot side. This meant that the colonists would win their independence from Britain. All these battles are very important to North Carolina history. I want you to stop and pause the video, and I want you to copy down the Battle of Kings Mountain and the Battle of Guilford Courthouse. Under Battle of Kings Mountain, I want you to write what's written on the slide, and the same for Battle of Guilford Courthouse. After that, you may restart the video. This is a picture of the two different types of soldiers that fought in the American Revolution. On this side, you have the Continental soldier, who is from the American colonies, or the Patriot side. On this side, you have the British soldier who came over from Britain to fight the colonists. It's very apparent that one side had more of an advantage over the other, so it's an amazing victory for the colonists that they even won the war. Look at their shoes. The colonists often wore rags around their feet once their shoes were torn and not able to wear, whereas the British soldiers had these boots. They also had nice coats and nice pants, where the Continental soldiers had to provide their own clothes. Look at the difference between the two. You can tell which side was which. The Continental soldier often wore a blue vest, while the British soldier wore a red. This was able to tell them apart easily, especially in pictures now. It must have been really hard for the Continental soldiers to win, but they really wanted their independence, and that made them defeat the British soldiers in the end. So, the effect of the whole war was that the colonies were now independent. After the war, the colonies had their independence and would be called states from that point on. So, the 12 states met in Pennsylvania and talked about making a federal government, just like the one we have today. They created the Constitution and a Bill of Rights. Without them, we wouldn't be living the same way that we live today. We would still be living under British rule. The Constitution is a written plan that divided powers between the federal and state governments. Originally, it was signed by 12 states. This is so that not one person has all the power to make the decisions for the rest of the people. Please pause the video and copy this vocab word into your text, or not into your textbook, but into your notebook. Then restart the video. The Bill of Rights lists the freedom and rights that people should have. This was included in the Constitution after North Carolina leaders requested it. This makes sure that people have the rights and freedom from the government that they created. These freedoms and rights are still talked about today and sometimes create some controversy, which means they can create problems about people deciding what is free, what is a right, and what is not. Sometimes you hear about it in the news. Now pause the video and copy down the Bill of Rights vocab word into your notebook. Then move on to the next blend space side.